Hey guys, in this video I will teach you about motion controls. Yes, you heard that correctly, I'll be teaching you about motion controls. In the past I made a pros and cons video about motion controls like months ago, and so many of you supported that video, so thank you so much. Now I will teach you about the ins and outs of motion control because no other person in the Fortnite Nintendo Switch community have made a video like this for Chapter 2 Season 5. If you enjoy it, please drop a like and subscribe if you really enjoy my content. Also, it seems that 90% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so please check if you're subscribed. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, first thing we should discuss is what is motion controls. Motion control is exclusive to Nintendo Switch, and it's like a way to play Fortnite where you have your controller and you move it around, and then it will move the camera of where your character is looking. And the thing is, you can use motion controls and your stick to have extra camera movement. Okay, now let's go into the setting and explain each setting. So the first setting is motion enable, so pretty self-explanatory. If you turn on, it will enable motion, and if you disable it, then it will disable motion. So if I disable it, I move the controller, nothing happens, and if I turn it on, use the motion, it moves. And there is a note here that Epic put in recently saying that enabling gyroscope could drain your battery faster, which is true. So you can plug in your charger while you're playing, or you can charge it beforehand to full and just play normally without the charger. Now the second one is motion axis, and there's two different options you can do, which is yaw or roll. Yaw is basically what most people play on, and it's basically when you have your controller horizontal and you would move it in the direction that you want horizontally, and it will move that direction. So as you see in the background, and you see in the hand cam, I'm moving my controller and the camera moves as well. Now the difference with roll this time is that it is with vertical this time. So with your controller vertical, you turn it, and then it will go in a specific direction, and then if you turn it the other way, it will go in that direction. So I personally do not like roll because it's not normally how people would play, because I played Splatoon before, and Splatoon plays on a yaw system. So you move it like that. So up is down, left, right. Oh, left, right. Okay. Now the third option is motion invert view. So it says in the description, inverts up and down view. I don't know why people would use this, but it's there, and if you go down, it goes up. If you go down, it goes. If you go up, it goes down. So I don't know. It's just there. Now invert turn. Inverts left and right turn. So if you turn this on, it will be left is right and right is left. This could be useful for role players. So if you want to play role like this, but you don't want to deal with the invert thing, you can do this, and it will invert it as well. So that's a setting that could be used. Now let's go on to the sensitivity, starting with motion sensitivity not targeting. It's basically your normal look setting, and the setting goes from 1% to all the way to 100%. So now let's get to the targeting sense, which is your ADS. So let's just get a gun. Let's just check. So this is my normal sense, which is 28, and if you ADS, since I have a lower percent, then it'll be slower. It'll be a lot slower than this. And then the scope sensitivity is basically what you use for snipers. I don't have a sniper here, but then, and you have your harvesting tool. Now both inputs when using controller normally and keyboard, they don't have a setting specifically for harvesting tool, only motion controls. So usually you want it to be the same as your look, but you can put higher depending on what you like. And that's it for the motion control options. Okay, I'm going to teach you of how to use aim assist, because aim assist on motion control is very different from regular aim assist. In regular aim assist, you would have the pull of the look stick, and you would have the tracking, obviously, to help you with your aim, since usually on controller you would just only use the joystick. But on motion, it only provides tracking, but you still have the look stick available to your the pull on your look stick. You still have that, but motion itself will just only have tracking. Okay, so here's some tricks I use with motion control aim assist. So to always lock on your opponent, I recommend you to crouch spam. Crouch spamming is, I'm pretty sure all controller players know this, but then some actually do not know this, so I'm just gonna put that out there. Crouching will make your crosshair stick on your opponent for longer. It will make it more stickier to it and a lot stronger. And you can use tracking aim assist. You can just fully rely on tracking aim assist when you do a right hand peek, and it's really good if you move while crouching while shooting, because first it will make your crosshair smaller, but also it will basically like lure your crosshair towards the opponent. So let's just say it's just doing this and I move, then it does that. So you have to use your movement a lot to like flick your crosshair onto it, and then the aim assist will do the precise stuff for you. So that's how you would aim with this. And close up you can use your look stick to like flick on your target, which is what I do. So I still get that pull thing with the look stick, and you can use the tracking itself, you can use that combined with your flicking. So if you were to move, then flick in the other direction and it'll just do this. If you have like a flicking nature, which I also tend to do, if I go to the right, I'll flick here and it'll just usually end up like that. So if I do this, and that's how I would usually flick. Now that I went over motion controls and the settings for it, now I should go over the pros and cons of it, and I will mention some pros and cons that I made in my other video, and if you haven't checked out already, check it out. But some pros of motion control is that you have 360-degree movement. Basically what it is that you can go in 360 different direction. So you can go at a 90-degree angle, something like this. You can go at like a 45 angle ish, but just a little bit more, something like this. You can go like here and do this. You can go like this, and etc, etc. And what's so good about this is that you can go sideways and look forward like this, and this is very useful in fights for tracking down your opponents and just gathering information. And also it's really good for typing, because usually with mouse and keyboard, since the camera dictates what direction you go in, you have to do something like this, which can be annoying, and you have to pay attention to your movement a lot more. And with 360-degree movement, you can do this. something like this. And it just makes typing a lot better and your movement better. And plus, with 360-degree movement, you can weave through edits. I know Reet is really good at this, and it helps him P control better and not like scuff edits. The second thing, still talking about movement, is that you have full control of your movement. So usually on mouse and keyboard, you play on WASD or like some keys similar to that, and you have to put keys around those keys in order to place builds. So those are going to be your building blocks, and you usually have to take off your finger off your moving key to put it onto your building binds. Usually on controller, that's usually not the case, because most people would use Builder Pro, which makes all your building bind on your triggers and bumpers, and your thumbstick is still on your movements. That means you have full control of placing your cone, your wall, your stairs, and your floor. So that'll be very useful for doing high ground retakes and doing like certain side jumps and all that. It just makes it easier. The third pro is that it combines the great aspects of controller and keyboard and mouse. So what I mean by this is that the motion control itself acts like a keyboard and mouse, more like a mouse in a way, because you use your arm and your wrist in order to move your character around. But you still have the aim assistant that you can abuse and aim and use it to like aim for you. So that can be useful in many situations. And it just makes building and everything better. The main con is that motion control is only available on Switch, and Switch has 30 FPS, as you probably know. And 30 FPS is a big disadvantage compared to what other consoles are playing on, like 60 and like 120. 30 is a lot choppier if you play 60 before, which I have, and it feels a lot choppier, and there's a lot of input lag on Switch. It makes fighting really hard, so with that alone, it could just be the sole reason why people on Switch don't place as high in tournaments, just because of that reason. And plus, crossplay with other people, especially in arena, is really hard. So you have to play endgame most of the time. You can't really W key, because it's kind of hard to get 0 ping or low ping in actual matches on Switch. Okay, now let's get into the main question you've been wanting to know. Should you switch to motion controls? In my opinion, just with the pros alone and with the cons, if you're on Switch on stick and you're thinking about switching to motion control, I think you should use it, because it will definitely help you with your building. And if you still want to play stick but use motion as well, you can do that. So you can play stick, and then you can just use motion for building, and you can use it for aiming, and you can set up specific modes for yourself. So like for aiming, I want to use look stick, and for building and editing, I want to use motion controls. For ADSing, I want to stick, something like that. But motion control will definitely help you with your aim, your building, your editing, your P control. It will help you with everything, because that's basically like the keyboard and mouse. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like on this video. If you could, please check the subscribe button to see if you're subscribed. Hope to see you guys in the next video.